All right, so I managed to drop our Milwaukee little ratcheting wrench in an entire bucket of oil while we were swapping the LS7. Well, while we were pulling the LS7. I left it in, both of Isaac and I left it in cat litter for, it's probably been almost a week, probably 5 days, to soak up as much as we can. And I took a good hard look at it and thought, let me pull it out of the cat litter tub that it was in, and it's still disgusting. So I'm gonna try and resurrect it if possible. I think we're just gonna need to pull a few fasteners off. Okay, that one's different. All these have been little button heads, and that one's a countersunk. So I'll keep those separate. But man, what an annoying thing I did. It was just sitting on the fender, and then it just slipped off. We have a little leather pad on the fender to help keep us from scratching it, and it just slipped right off into a 6-inch deep bucket of oil. And this thing was in there as I watched it fall for a few seconds, enough to completely saturate with oil. So we're just gonna take a peek on the inside of this and see what things are looking like. There's cat litter saturated in oil everywhere, so I don't think that really worked. I'm assuming I'm gonna need to pull this apart and see what's going on inside. Okay. All right. Everything's covered in oil. I mean, if you guys are at all familiar with how these parts are assembled, almost all power tools like this have some sort of glass fiber reinforced, PA6 nylon or something, and then they're over molded with rubber. Whether it's a power drill or this or anything, all this stuff is made very similarly. Okay, that button just slides out. Okay, that goes in here and just slides backwards and forwards. Okay, so that just covers up the switch. So that's how that works. It just slides into place and keeps the switch from being depressed. That's the battery terminal there. So let me pull this carefully. It should all just pop out as one. I'll need to make sure I route this LED correctly again. Okay, there's our other piece of overmolding. I think soak this thing in Simple Green, wipe it down. I am hoping the internals of that motor, maybe I'll hit those with some air. At the end of the day, it's oil. So like, as Isaac said, it shouldn't, it should just help it if there's just a little bit of oil in there. But oh my God, is this gross. This is gonna need compressed air. I'm not gonna be able to get out all the stuff. All right, BRB. All right, so as I cleaned that, it gave me a little bit of the forbidden milkshake, which to the people that don't know what that means that like oil was mixing with water and it foams up and froths up. So that tells me that I got a lot of it out and it was starting to agitate it with the Simple Green. I would love to just put this back together and be done with it, because right now I'm trying to reassemble the Z06. And if I could just put this back together and be done with it, then I could use this tool, which is, I just went to reach for it and I was like, oh my God, it's still disgusting. And taking this apart, it was pretty easy, so I can always put it back together, and then if it's still a little oily later, maybe I can let it soak over a weekend or something. And by soak, I mean soak in cat litter to pull out the rest of the oil as it's all pulled apart here. All right, now for the electronics. I'm pretty confident in Milwaukee's ability to make something that could be quickly dunked in oil and then removed. So I'm gonna hope that these electronics are good. I could plug the battery in and test, but then I'd know if it wasn't working. And I think this is a bit of a Schrodinger's cat situation. And I would like to just put it back together and cross my fingers and have it work. And I think if I test it now and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna be, putting the, what is it called? Putting the thing before the horse, putting the cart before the horse. There's a lot of cat litter in there. I'm gonna try and spray that out. At the same time, I don't want it to just go deeper into the tool. Just very lightly scraping this bearing. That'll come off with some air. This LED is literally brown with oil. It's supposed to be red. I'm back from airing this out. I got a lot of the honestly, I think the cat litter was starting to hurt instead of help. So I feel like the cat litter was fully saturated, and then because of that was then just being like a saturated sponge and coating everything that it was touching in more oil when I was wiping it off. So all the cat litter should be out now. I think I'm just gonna reassemble and cross my fingers. All right, and then we have the base is over here. Yeah, this feels right. This is not right. Definitely the other way. Yeah, that's it. That the battery status LEDs are inside the board. Okay, so that's right. Push you back down. Put you back in. Okay, those wires are back in. Nothing should get crimped there. Those status lights look okay. The switch needs to go back in, right? There we go. Did I do it? Will this just go back together and work? Okay. Am I missing a part? Of course, right here. This is so gross. I apologize in advance. I'm definitely gonna pull this apart again at some point and let it soak overnight, but I really want to use this tool right now. More saturated cat litter. Okay, this goes in right here. Nice. That all looks good. I think I can just come in with this. Pull that up. That sounded like a good click. What's right there? Is that bad is that bad molding? Yeah. That's not my fault. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, there's one. That tool works. Okay, please, Jesus. Oh, that's a good light. Let's go. All right, we're good. Woo! All right, I'm gonna throw this back together and I'm gonna keep fixing the Corvette. Thanks for watching this quick one. I'm glad that worked.